Hello Sagittarius, welcome to the ManjulaAwakening. My name is Kiana, or welcome back if you are an existing subscriber. So guys, I want to get a spiritual path message. I want to see what's going on with Sagittarius on the spiritual path. I absolutely have no intention of picking up on anyone else's energy but Sagittarius. So some of these messages may be hard to digest, but guys, I am doing these messages in pure love for the improvement of the Sagittarius collective, okay? It says, see the good in everything. Yes, see the good in every single, be open to spiritual guidance. I love it. My children are outside, and the window's open. So I'm in the living room in a different setup. And it felt good to be in this setup as well. Like, it felt like this is where Spirit actually wanted me at to do this reading. So, let's open our minds and our hearts to this message as it is coming through. The first card out is see the good in everything. This is the day to be optimistic only. No matter what comes your way, your task is to see only the favorable attributes in it. The goal is to practice the power of positive thinking. And that has been, when I tap into checking just to see where Sagittarius is at, not in their love relationships or anything, that really does seem to be the overall theme so far, is that this is shifting out of a negative mindset, releasing ourselves from an old paradigm, an old thought paradigm that has kept us from the progress that we are in dire desire of. And so I definitely feel like that there's a shift in the thinking here. I'm going to go ahead and pull a shadow and trigger message and see what's going on with that. But yeah, let's see, Spirit, what's good. So the shadow message is possessive. You're clinging on to someone or something way too tightly. Learn to let go. Love has no ownership. Everyone has free will. So, Sagittarius, I think it was a Virgo reading that I did. And I hardly ever on this channel do all the zodiac signs. I do focus on Sagittarius in 9th house here. But in that Virgo reading, it is coming to mind. And it was titled, Set It Free. If it's meant to be, it'll come back. I feel like that's the energy of this. It's time to find the beauty and the joy of letting go of a situation, taking your hands off of the wheel, trying to force this person, place, or thing to see something from your perspective. A lot of the times, most people won't see it from your perspective until it's actually played out in their life. That's one of those things, we as human beings, we have this horrible, well, I'm not going to say it's horrible, but we do have a trait that gets us into a lot of trouble, and that is sometimes we have to learn the hard way. And I feel like that the fear of someone else's free will, the fear of what decision someone else will make, is causing Sagittarius to kind of latch onto something. Let's get this trigger message. It says, when I don't feel in control, I begin to act in impatient and demanding ways. There it goes. Absolutely. All right, Spirit. So let's get this life lessons, or this journey. I forget what the name of this is, but it is part of the giveaway, guys. Yep, there's some forgiveness needed. There's a need to set oneself free from this ego. And I feel like you know what I'm saying? It is ego and pride that's having Sagittarius trying to hold on and control this situation here. Let's see, Spirit. This is a spiritual growth message for Sagittarius. What is the lesson in this situation other than to let go and not be in control? Indecision. I use my intuition in all aspects of my life. So even when you don't have all of the answers, it is important to see the good in everything. But I feel like that with this indecision being here, my baby's baby doll was fake crying. I thought it was my sugar butts. But anyways, I use my intuition in all aspects of my life. This is about allowing your intuition to guide you. And a lot of, a lot of us mix, when we get so embroiled into a situation, we have the tendency to confuse our intuition with fear. And this is telling me that there's something about this is time to be set free. Look, resentment and regret is behind the bottom of the deck. It's like you pray, like you'll send a prayer or a request out into the universe for some guidance on something, and then you don't. It's like you become impatient and you don't allow yourself to wait on that order. You know what I'm saying? I completely mix the names up. I am not. I'm a firm believer in a higher power. However, religion, I have quarrels with it. Okay, but I was raised in a Baptist family. But I mix these two names up. I say all that to say that I can't remember if it was Elijah. But I do believe it was Elijah that was sent. Like he waited on the word. Like he didn't move. He stayed he stayed in a desolate city where there was no food, no water, and he stayed even though it was the conditions around showed that it was time to flee. He didn't flee because he was waiting on the orders of the divine, of God, right? So I feel like that's what's going on here. It's like when things begin to look desolate in situations, Sagittarius leeches on to control and trying to orchestrate every move, your opponent's move and your move in order to maintain control of it. But this is really saying don't move a single piece on this board until you receive the guidance that you have requested for. And this is through listening to your intuition and not to fear. All right, Spirit. What's the word? Show me how Sagittarius is showing up here. Show me Sagittarius's energy. Oh, 2 cards. So we have the 3 of Cups and the 4 of Pentacles. Yep. The 5 of Pentacles is at the bottom of the deck. You know, I feel like that Sagittarius is not allowing themselves to see the good in a separation here. Sagittarius is trying to control how something comes back together. A situation that has made you feel left out in the cold, or that has had you in a financial, that could have potentially had you in a financial hardship or whatever the case may be. And it's like, if it's a financial hardship, it's like you're holding on to, because you have this lack mindset. It's like you're holding on to what you do have. But, and honesty, with the way the law of attraction works is you do have to be like, you have to let your possessions flow freely. You know what I'm saying? Usually I have a lot of crystals on my desk, and one thing that I have learned about crystals, I'm not a crystal expert or anything like that, but one thing that I have experienced in my journey with the crystals is that they tend to disappear. They do. You to ask anybody that has crystals, it just seems like crystals just up and disappear. And that is because they've served a purpose. Like their purpose for you was served, and now they're finding their way to the next crevice until found by the next person, or when you come back around to them and your life is in need of them again. And so, but you can't place an attachment onto those things in order to attract it. Now, yeah. But I feel like that Sagittarius is trying to hold on to and trying to control the way that something is reconciled. And in all actuality, Spirit is asking you to find, let's just say a person does come back around. no matter how that person comes back around, no matter what plays out when this person comes back around, there's something good in that situation. Even if it's just offering you the next stone so that you can step up and level up, right? And so Sagittarius is showing up quite possessive, not only because that's what the shadow message is, but the Four of Pentacles here is Sagittarius holding on to something out of this fear of a financial hardship or being left out in the cold and not being included in something here. How can Sagittarius let go? How can Sagittarius let go in this situation? Thank you, Spirit. So we have the Page of Swords and the Death card. Okay. So this is saying, just as literal, it is saying investigate endings. Okay. Investigate the benefits of endings. Okay. But I also, what I'm getting from this is, It's time to become curious about what's on the other side, but not to the point that you become worried about what's on the other side. It's just about being open and energetic and courageous. You know what I'm saying? Understanding that through this ending, looky here, we got the Moon card at the bottom of the deck. So this is saying that, even though you don't know what's on the other side, you're curious about it and you're eager to find out. You know what I'm saying? This is about understanding and lifting up that there is something better on the other side. Especially Sagittarius, if you're in a situation that you feel like that, that you have to work so hard to keep it together. That's not the way of the divine, okay? That's just not the force. Is not the, yes, use the force within you. That's the strength card, your inner strength, listen to me, Dark Vader. Don't Dark Vader on these people, you know what I'm saying? But it is time to use the force within you, because through using this force, and yes, I'm using a Star Wars reference because your girl is a Star Wars fan, but hey, it's about really allowing, things are going to move when you begin to believe that things are going to move in a positive direction. When you begin to believe that things are going to move in a positive direction, that's what this see the good in everything is talking about. It really is time to test out the power of positive thinking. You know what I'm saying? Hell, Sag, we know what negative thinking can get us. I'm just going to give you a personal example. I'm in a legal issue with my child's father, and I filed a motion because it was just an ugly situation, and I felt like I needed some assistance from someone with more power than I had. And it didn't, and I feared that it wouldn't work. I was just so scared that he was going to get by with the threat. And then they hit me with a counter motion where they filed for attorney fees, and that, God help me, I've already spent so much money on attorneys. I homeschool my children. This is what I do for a living. You know what I'm saying? And so it was like, God, I cannot afford to pay for his attorney fees on top of trying to take my daughter on a vacation, who has really received the shitty end of this stick out of this entire big picture. Her lifestyle has been completely altered, and that's all I could focus on. That's all I was worried about. I was like, oh my God, please don't let this judge approve these attorney fees. And oh my gosh. And guess what? The judge approved the attorney fees. Why? Not only was there a lesson for me to learn inside of that situation about the power of the tongue, but also because that's what I was focused on. You know what I'm saying? That's where I put my energy at. That's where my fear was guiding me, instead of my intuition. You know what I'm saying? So that's just the energy. And I mean, hell, I was holding on for dear life, trying to control the outcome of that situation, guys. And it just didn't work out in my favor. You know what I'm saying? Well, it did work out in my favor, because it like I said, it reminded me that even though I felt like I was learning the power of the tongue, there was still a whole lot that your girl was missing. And also it opened up it opened up my awareness to the blockages that I was having to abundance. You know what I'm saying? I was blocking my own abundance by living in this impoverished lack mindset. Well, the Five of Pentacles is gone now, but living in that Five of Pentacles mindset was really creating my reality. So that's the message that I feel like that Spirit is wanting Sagittarius to be aware of right now. And sometimes when these negative thoughts arise in your thought process, it's okay to just to say thank you, negative thought. God or your creator, whoever it is that you send your prayers out to and receive your advice from, ask for grace and mercy in that moment of fear and anxiety and that negative thought, because it is going to take a while to rewire. Like, it's not an overnight thing to rewire the way that you think, Sagittarius, but it is possible through diligence. Okay, I think I'm going to go ahead and close this message up, guys. I think the message is pretty clear. If you have resonated and enjoyed this message, we would appreciate a thumbs up down below, Sagittarius. All right, Moonology, what's the message here for Sagittarius? Thank you, Spirit. It says, be bold and make the first move. At the bottom of the deck, we have a new start is coming. Wow. Wow, Sag. Be bold and make the first move. I actually want to clarify that. What is the move that Sagittarius is needing to make? Believing in the impossible. That's what I just heard. Believing in the impossible. The King of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands. Be bold and make the first move. It could be towards this is the Taurus card for me as a reader, Taurus, Aries, but it could be an earth sign. Okay, be bold and make the first move. And then we have the King of Pentacles and the Nine of Wands. There is something, something to do with your work, something to do with your job. There's a strategy. Okay, so just for a few people, side note, if you are thinking about reaching out to some sort of business partner or reaching out to someone that you have done business with in the past, because with the Nine of Wands here, this is telling me that it's like if you've done business with someone before, like if you've had a business partner before and things took a left turn and it didn't work out, there's this inkling, an intuitive hit that's coming in to reach out to someone to partner with, and it's like there's a lot of doubt and fear surrounding it. But there is an opportunity to have a fresh new start in this, but it is going to require Sagittarius to be bold and make the first move and then release any expectation for how someone is going to respond to you. And it's going to require some patience here. Okay. All right, Spirit. It's like you want to celebrate, you want to come together in this situation with someone, but there's some fear. And this fear is surrounding resentment for a situation that possibly left you out in the cold before, fear that it's going to happen again, or you were still holding on to what, if it's the exact same person, to the way that they left you hanging in the past.